Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be my Walking Dead episode 13 video. Probably one of the best Carol-Daryl episodes in a long time. I mean, Carol and Daryl, always some of my favorite characters, but this episode, they just had so many great moments. It was so funny for both scary and funny reasons. Just a quick reminder, there's a new round of the giveaway now. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. There's only 3 episodes left, so I might do something a little bit different for the finale. I'm probably going to do a bigger giveaway for that. I mean, it's a big freaking deal. So just careful for spoilers from the episode as we get into the top 5 moments, starting with number 5, Rick, Carol, and Daryl are planning the takeover. I love how Carol buried so many bullets in that walker. She's like, well, I'm supposed to be practicing. I shouldn't come back with a full clip. She is so on point. Rick always seems like the leader, but Carol really seems like the one that's doing all the planning. And if it wasn't clear, they haven't told the rest of the group about their plan, the rest of the survivors. It's just the 3 of them. As the episode got on, you could kind of tell that they were starting to change their mind. I mean, it seems like it's going in that direction, but we still have a couple more episodes, so we'll see if things go downhill, which they probably will. It wouldn't be The Walking Dead if things didn't go to shit by the end of the season. On to number 4, Sasha is slowly going crazy. Lots of great Sasha montages, especially when she was using those family pictures for target practice. She can't stand life in this community. She thinks it's all a big fiction. She's still experiencing the trauma of losing Tyrese. You could argue that Daryl's going through the same thing, but he lost his brother and dealt with it during season 4, so he just had more time to process. And she actually introed a big Easter egg from the comics. So in the Alexandria safe zone, the clock tower is a really notable place. In the comics, it's Andrea that ends up using it. So I guess you could argue that Sasha is going to be the Andrea inside the Alexandria safe zone, or at least get all the big Andrea action moments. It seemed like early on in season 5, when they were dealing with the hunters, that she was headed in that direction. So this is just a little more confirmation. I know there's always questions about like who's going to be Andrea from the comics, so now it kind of looks like we can point to Sasha. The interesting thing is that in the comics too, Andrea gets tied up with Douglas's son, Spencer. So they are sticking pretty close to the comics. I mean relatively close. Douglas's son in the comics just was like trying to push up on Andrea and she wasn't having any of it. So just open up a tab for the clock tower with the rifle in it and those 2 characters, Spencer and Sasha. They will be important later. Moving on to number 3, Rick and Jesse kind of start a little bit of a thing. It's kind of hard to tell where she's coming from. She just seems really friendly. She's not openly hitting on him. I think she likes a lot of things about him and wants to get to know him a lot better. And Rick likes the idea of her. She represents the kind of life that I would like to have after this is all over, after the apocalypse is over. So I think both of them are just attracted to each other because of what they represent. They are 2 really good looking people, so there's that going on. And it's only implied, but Jesse's husband is a little short with her. They're gonna develop that. We'll learn a little bit more about him, but he is the town doctor, which is actually kind of a problem. You get a sense that there's going to be a conflict between him and Rick at some point, especially with the ship that's developing between him and Jesse. But if he's the doctor and he dies, like if Rick ends up killing him or something bad ends up happening to him, they'll be down a skilled physician, which is really bad. To be fair, the survivors have gotten on without a doctor, so they'll probably be okay. The rest of the people in the community, not so much. They'll probably flip their shit. The weird thing about The Walking Dead is there's not a whole lot of sex on it, not as much as you'd think, given all the violence and the gore and the fact that it's on cable. I mean, think about it real hard. If it were the apocalypse and you were just trying to survive, you'd probably have sex with the first woman you came across just to relieve some tension. But like we saw when they first met, Rick, lost his mind whenever he thought he lost Carl and Judith. He's just been so preoccupied so far that it hasn't been the first thing on his mind. But now that they're in the safe zone, things are calming down. His mind is starting to wander to her cash and prizes. Who among us could not say we would not do the same thing? You could totally make all the Shane jokes you want, like he's totally putting the moves on some other dude's wife. He is kind of a Shane, but Shane was a lot more willing to sacrifice members of the group. That's the big difference between Rick and Shane. Yeah, they're relatively similar people, but Rick really is a good person deep down inside. It's just when you push him over the edge, try to rape his son, that he bites a chunk out of your neck and goes crazy. But I think we're all in agreement that what's going on between the 3 of them, Rick, Jesse, and Pete, who's Jesse's husband, is going to do something. Something's going to happen to push Rick over the edge. Don't be surprised if they use that as the climax that pushes into the finale, like the big WTF finale. There's some comic book moments that we can tie to that, but I'll explain after my top 5 moments with a special spoiler warning just in case you don't want to know about the comics. Moving on to number 2 though, Daryl bonds with Aaron over buttons. As much as Carol was my favorite thing in this episode, Daryl was like my second favorite for like non-WTF reasons. Just because it's so fun watching an outdoor cat slowly become an indoor cat, if you want to tie it back to the claimers again. Claimed. I felt like using Buttons the horse was a very effective emotional tool. You can call Scott Gimple and the other Walking Dead writers manipulative, but it totally worked. It's like as an audience, like you feel so wounded just because Daryl admires this horse so much and then you watch it just get torn apart by walkers. You're just so sad. Why don't you come in, have some spaghetti, cry on our shoulders? And look, here's something to make you feel better. Here's a bike that you can put back together. It really feels like the show is pushing Aaron as one of the sane people inside the safe zone. Like they want us to think that he's going to make it as part of the survivors. Regardless of what goes down in the finale, like there'll be a group that will survive into season 6. I think that they want us to think that Aaron is worthy of being a survivor, as opposed to the other crazier members of the safe zone, like Deanna, for instance. Isn't that just something that they would do before they get ready to kill someone, though? So I guess we should all worry for Aaron's safety, but I am hoping that he makes it into season 6 because he's a really interesting character. I don't think that anything he was doing with Daryl, like trying to get him to go out and be one of the recruiters, was manipulative at all. I think that was completely genuine. Like he sensed that Daryl just doesn't work so well full-time inside the community, but he also doesn't belong outside, so he needs to be able to go in and out as he pleases. And my number one WTF moment, of course, Carol is the scariest person inside the safe zone right now. You can A, pick all the cookies in the world, or B, I'll let you die a horrible death outside the safe zone, and your mother will never find out what happened to you. In case you forgot, Sam is one of Jesse's children, one of Jesse's 2 children. So when he said, I tell my mother everything, that was actually a really positive thing. Like she seems like a really good mom. Carol, also a really good mom for very different reasons. I like the idea that she's a den mother. She called herself a den mother. She really is, but she's the den mother of like the most dangerous children in the world. Like Sasha, for instance, you could think of her as one of her cubs. Looks like she's getting ready to go off like a nuclear bomb. And Carol's just stone cold. All those comments though about the cookies, the applesauce and the chocolate, that's for real though. People do put applesauce in cookies. My favorite moment though during that whole scene was when he first was like, I followed you. I thought you were going to make more cookies. I thought that she was actually going to kill him at the end of the episode. Didn't you just feel it was going to be like a look at the flowers moment? Like, oh, well, I got to kill him now. He saw me. There's nothing else we can do about it. That's why I love The Walking Dead so much, because this is like a really evil moment. It's something really evil for Carol to do, but you cheer so hard because you love Carol so much. It's the same thing with Rick's character too. Like when he totally goes off the reservation, you cheer so loud. That's actually a really good jumping off point. Here's my big question for you guys. What is your favorite evil thing that one of the survivors has done? Like definitely cross the line bad thing to do, but that made you cheer really hard. I would say before this, it was like the end of season 4 when Rick bit out the claimer's neck. Carol's cookies now though is my number one, definitely number one. It's gonna be hard to top this. Rick killing Pete might be a good one, but I still feel like Carol's cookies is gonna go down as like one of the season 5 moments. Mark my words, whenever they get to Comic-Con, they do like their Walking Dead panel, they'll probably have like a cookie moment, just like they had a Carl Pudding moment last year. Do you hear that, AMC marketing? Just make a whole bunch of cookies. That is your new marketing strategy for Comic-Con this summer. Just to explain the comic book stuff that's just around the corner, like with the W markings and the Scavengers. So the Scavengers are a group that are in and around the DC area in the comics. They didn't debut till issue number 75, but they tie in with the Alexandria Safe Zone story. So I'm just going to put this spoiler tag up for a second. So here we go. So the Scavengers want what's inside the safe zone. They don't find out about it. They don't find where it is until Rick kills Pete. Like he kills Pete, it makes this big sound, and it alerts the Scavengers where the safe zone is. And it leads to a big conflict. Right off the bat, that just sounds like something they would do for the finale. So maybe we'll see like some crazy Rick Pete moment in episode 15, maybe even episode 14. But then there was this Morgan Street Easter egg. So maybe Morgan is going to show up as that all goes down too. I'm kind of hoping we see Jesus before next season. We haven't met him. We haven't seen him inside the safe zone, but he is a safe zone character. It's possible that like with Negan, they're holding him for season 6. So given how close we are to the finale, I'm just expecting the Scavengers to be like the next big villain group. You guys can let me know if you agree though. Just let me know, do you think that Negan's going to show up as part of the Scavengers group, or do you think it's just going to be Scavengers and then after they're dealt with later in season 6, we'll see Negan? So I'll post a Q&A for this tomorrow while I announce the giveaway winner. Be sure to subscribe to get that if you haven't already. But since I forgot to list the winner of my Game of Thrones giveaway this week in my Game of Thrones video earlier today, I'll say, Misha Houston, you win the Game of Thrones Season 4 DVD. Just be sure to message me on the back end of my channel for contact info. I'm sure everyone has questions about what's going on with Rick and Jesse, what's going on with Sasha slowly losing her mind, Michonne putting her katana up. Daryl totally broing out with Aaron. So many good things in this episode. There's so many things we could talk about. So while you guys wait for that Q&A, you can click here for the Game of Thrones video. I just posted the Game of Thrones Season 5 video. And you can click here for all my other Walking Dead Season 5 videos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Now let's all do the thing.